A month before the dead started walking, the man got a phone call that would change everything. A middle-aged woman on the line told him to stock up on supplies and find someplace safe to hole up. No explanations, just instructions. The man was a long-haul truck driver. He'd grown up in an orphanage, no parents, no family to speak of. The only real constants in his life were the open road and a scruffy little mutt he'd found a year ago. He'd named her Wally. The caller was Aunt Wu, the kind-hearted stranger who'd been supporting him all these years. She had no family of her own and worked at a biological research facility. He tried to ask more questions, but the line went dead. When he called back, a recording told him the number was no longer in service. Aunt Wu had no reason to lie, and she wasn't the type to joke around. But where the hell was he supposed to hide? Then it hit him, a jolt of pure adrenaline. His big rig wasn't just a truck, it could be his ticket to survival. In a matter of seconds, he made up his mind. He'd turn that 18-wheeler into a fully equipped RV, a goddamn fortress on wheels that could go anywhere and survive anything. He drove straight to see old Zhang, a decent guy who ran an auto repair shop. He laid out exactly what he needed. First, cut a pass-through between the cab and the cargo container. Second, reinforce the whole body, turn it into a livable safe room. Third, expand the fuel and water tanks, install high-capacity solar panels and a water purification system. Old Zhang hesitated. Modifications that extensive? Not exactly legal around here. The man explained the truck was being built for an overseas buyer. That was all old Zhang needed to hear. Outside the shop window, the city hummed along like any other day. Cars, people, noise, a picture of peace and normalcy. The man couldn't help but wonder if the apocalypse was even real. He was betting everything he had on this hunch. If he was right, he'd survive. If he was wrong, well, he didn't have much to lose anyway. To make sure the work went smoothly, old Zhang brought in his son, Zhang Hao. The kid had just graduated with a degree in automotive modification and new energy tech. The first few days were spent on smaller jobs, mostly cutting through from the cab to the container, installing protective mesh and a monitoring station in the driver's area. Evenings were spent grilling over a fire, the three of them just shooting debris. Zhang Hao was curious, kept asking what the truck was really for. The man couldn't say for sure that doomsday was coming, so he just said he wanted to be ready for anything. Zhang Hao studied his face for a long moment, like he was trying to figure out a puzzle. The next morning, Zhang Hao showed up with the full external modification plan. First, a layer of steel plate for reinforcement, tough enough to stop submachine gun rounds. Then a coating of explosive-proof, flame-retardant material. Every window would be double-layered ballistic glass. They replaced the rear cargo doors with a drawbridge-style ramp perfect for defense and easy loading. The front got a heavy-duty steel bumper, a powerful winch, and high-intensity floodlights to cut through the dark. A skylight would go on the roof, letting in natural light and serving as an emergency exit. Two-thirds of the roof would be covered in high-efficiency solar panels, designed to crank out 10 kilowatt-hours for every hour of sunlight. Zhang Hao had also gotten his hands on a new type of battery, one he was helping patent, that could store a massive 200 kilowatt-hours. They set aside part of the roof for a rainwater collection and purification system, all plumbed directly into the truck's interior. Inside the container, they installed every imaginable living amenity. In a worst-case scenario, he could live in there indefinitely without ever stepping foot outside. They mounted 8 cameras around the truck, giving him a full 360-degree view with no blind spots. Watching his mobile fortress take shape, the man felt a jolt of excitement he hadn't felt in years. 23 days later, it was finished. Zhang Hao mentioned, almost casually,